Live. Okay, cool. Making sure everything is still on. Gonna put it to the right places. Hello. Okay, cool. I think we are on. Welcome to live stream number 3, I believe. This is the third one, so that is why it is number 3. So, if you have been following along in my live streams over the past 2 weeks, the reason I am doing it on Saturday is because it'll probably be easier going forward if I just do it on Saturdays. Mondays are usually tough days for people, and Saturdays are not. If you have been in the live stream so far, you will know that I have sort of a series going, and that is making the Cars characters in real life. The very first stream, I made Lightning McQueen here, as you can see. The second stream, which was last Monday, I made Redneck Mater. And so, because I did Lightning McQueen the first week, Mater the second week, I think I will continue the trend of making the main characters, and this week I will draw Human Cruz Ramirez. Now, I've seen Cars 3 once, so, and I remember none of it, really. I know that the entire plot of the movie is that Lightning McQueen is old, and he wants to keep racing, but he's old, and so he gets a protege, and Cruz Ramirez is that protege. So, since she's the main character, I guess we can get started. This will be the first time drawing a female minifigure on these streams. I've had questions about it because for some people it seems pretty hard, which I can understand because there's a few extra steps, I guess, when it comes to making a female minifigure, like how to differentiate it from people, or like not people. That sounded sexist. From male figures. The first thing is usually in the hair. So for the hair, I'm just choosing a very a simple hair that's in a lot of figures.
How about you take a snack with you so you don't fall asleep?
I wanted Chick Hicks. I wanted Francesco. Those are both important characters. I will give you that. But I chose Cruz because she's the main character. Personally, I would have liked to do someone different. Like I've mentioned Finn McMissile a lot. I actually do have him. I have a picture for him, like a Mechabricks render to use when I actually start him. Who knows? This might take really fast. So how is everyone on this Saturday, July 18th? Because I think that's the date. It's a bit quiet today. So, me and my brothers, have started watching Avatar again. I've already seen Avatar a few times, but, well, not a few times, I've just seen it once. But my brothers haven't seen it at all, so I rented it because we don't have Netflix. And we started watching it, and they're really enjoying it. I cannot recommend the show enough. It's really fun. Characters are beautiful. Today's drawing, Mr. Lego Maniac 85, is Cruz Ramirez, because, as I explained, she's like the main character of Cars 3, and I already started doing the main characters of Cars 2 and Cars 1 last week. I do not know where to stream Korra for free. And to answer your question, Martian Productions. In Mecha Bricks, there is a button that you can press that gets a transparent PNG of the figure. Might see if I can find that really quickly, just so you know where it is. Dang it. Watched the first episode of Avatar. Didn't like it. Well, I can understand that, actually. The first few episodes, you can definitely feel that it seems like it's going to be just a random kid show that you don't give a second thought to. But if you stick with it around like episode 5 or 6 of Avatar, that's when it starts to get really, really good. So I would suggest trying it again. Yeah, the first episode is kind of meh. Cars 3 is one of the few Pixar movies that I haven't seen yet. I have, but it feels like I haven't, because it's really forgettable. I'd actually say that, like, you all know how I feel about Cars 2 at this point. I've made it well documented that I really love it. But that is what most people would say is, like, the bad Pixar movie. It's not, but I can sort of see why people would think so. Cars 3 is worse, in my opinion, because it's really forgettable. And I think a forgettable movie or a boring movie is sometimes, it's worse than a bad movie, because with a bad movie, you remember that it's bad. But with a forgettable movie, you just forget it. And that's worse for a movie than just being straight up bad. Like, everybody talks about how Thor: The Dark World is the worst MCU movie. But The Incredible Hulk, I almost never see anybody talking about it because it's just so forgettable. So I honestly think The Incredible Hulk might be worse just because nobody seems to remember it. You know, I never really got why people don't like Brave all that much. It's not my favorite, but I don't mind it. It's it feels a lot like a Pixar version of How to Train Your Dragon, which I actually don't see many people making that connection. Because it's about an heir to a throne in a Scandinavian country, and they're very they're hindered by the customs of their tribe, and they want to break free and forge their own path. And that's pretty much what How to Train Your Dragon is. And How to Train Your Dragon is possibly my favorite animated movie of all time. So, actually, no, not possibly. It is. Cars 3, How to Train Your Dragon is my favorite animated movie ever. My least favorite Pixar movie, one that I think is just the worst Pixar movie, is The Good Dinosaur, because no other Pixar movie really has the potential that it had and just completely squanders it. The possibility of like the asteroid missing Earth, not killing all the dinosaurs, that whole idea, it gave way. It could have turned into something really good, but it was kind of ignored in favor of bland farming dinosaur. Because you could have had like Dinosaur Zootopia, and I didn't like Zootopia all that much, but there's probably a lot of potential in that idea. Planes is a fever dream. Peel a car. I'm convinced that Planes doesn't actually exist. It was just a throwaway joke in one of the Mater shorts. I'm contradicting myself here, but I did actually see the Planes Fire and Rescue in theaters at like one of the cheap theaters in my town one time. I don't remember why. Actually, I do. I was with Gabe, or Rebel Trooper. He wanted to be here today, but he was doing something with his family, so say hello to Rebel Trooper. Planes is just one of those ideas that is so obviously based on pure money that it's hard to take seriously. And the more you think about how the world of cars works, the more it falls apart, such as Car Pope on a car on a Car Pope mobile. That is kind of the whole thesis behind these Cars as People minifigures. The Cars franchise, the worst thing about it is that take away Cars and the movie is changed pretty much not at all. you don't need the cars to be the characters because there's not really anything that they do that a human couldn't do. With the other Pixar movies, Toy Story, that only works because they're toys. Finding Nemo, that only works because they're fish. WALL-E, that only works because WALL-E is a robot. Monsters Inc., that only works because they're monsters. You can't replace any of those with people and have the same effect. With cars, you can replace them with people and nothing changes, aside from just a few of the throwaway jokes and some visual gags. Cars don't matter in Cars, and that's the biggest issue. So if people would ask me to make human Marlin from Finding Nemo, I'm not going to do it because Marlin needs to be a fish. That's the whole point. He's transversing the ocean to find his son, who was stolen and put into an aquarium. He needs to be a fish for Finding Nemo to work. For Cars, they are pretty much just people, and that's why I'm making them as people. I saw some terrifying art of somebody who proposed the Cars movies but remade like the Cats movie. So you had humans, but they're like CGI cars, but humans instead. So it's like the morph suits. The morph suits that you see around. They're like chrome and they have headlights for eyes and it's terrifying. And I don't know. You could probably Google it. It's like a Tumblr post, even though I despise Tumblr. That's something you guys might not know about me. I despise social media. It's kind of why I don't... I have a Twitter. I have a Twitter for my channel, but I never use it because I despise Twitter. The only things that I use, really, are Discord and Instagram, so please join those if you want to keep up with me. But I like them because... I like Discord because it's much more of a relaxed setting, and you can actually talk to people. And arguments don't break out as often. People are more apt to be respectful, I think. And Instagram, it's just easier because it's a good place to share art. And I share a lot of exclusive minifigures, both on Instagram and in my Discord. Might make a video pretty soon of just random figures that I've made recently that don't really fit into a series. The Chad Discord versus the Virgin Twitter. My brother's standing right next to me and he's giving me a glare. That's another thing you'll learn about me. I'm really not down with the kids. I don't know I don't get a lot of jokes that kids my age make. Because I am a kid. I'll accept that. I'm in what would quantify as kid age. But I don't get kids. I don't get what they do. Anything. So if people make like a bunch of meme jokes, I don't understand them. Is this my cool brother? Is that my cool brother who's glaring at me? Are you my cool brother?
Yep.
He says he's my cool brother, but I'm guessing you're probably talking about the one that sings with me. And that is not, he's not the one that sings with me. And that is the, well, he did add, he did add, something to the, man, I am completely blanking on English. He did add something to the Lost in the Woods video. That's what it is. He added some harmonies. So, technically, you could say that they're both my cool brothers. I wouldn't say that, but you could. Okay, and I'm back. Oh, cool brother who helped set up the stream. That is also not the same person. This is the brother that just makes fun of me for most things. He's also the one that helped make my Elementary Chronicles video, which, if you haven't seen it, please check it out. I was actually pretty proud of that one, but it's doing terribly in views. Read the books if you want. There's something special. And you'd also know all of my thoughts on them if you watched my video. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the detailing phase. So Cruz Ramirez, since her name is Cruz Ramirez, and she's voiced by a Latina actress, I'll make her Hispanic, like with just a bit of a darker skin. And I've been asked several times how I do eyes for females. It's really simple. I just get the the fade in, fade out tool, and go over the top like this, and that's it. That's just how I make female eyes. It's really simple. How many brothers does Noah has? I have 2 brothers. They're both younger than me, and I'm the oldest, so booyah. My younger brother is eating Cheerios. I don't know where my other brother is. I haven't seen Cars 3, so what's the deal with this character? I didn't remember at all. But a quick Wikipedia search tells me that she was the person who was supposed to get Lightning McQueen back in racing order after his big crash. But pretty soon, like Lightning, at the end of the movie, Lightning learns that he's not young And so he should probably leave the racing to the young folks. And Cruz Ramirez becomes the new face of Rusty's and Dynaco. So I will be basing her outfit off of the Dynaco like this, and that's why I have the logo here. Try Cheerios with water. Do you know your mater as a human also looks like Seuss? That... You know, he kind of does. Huh. You didn't watch the movie. I did watch the movie, but it's been so long ago. And like I said, the movie is really forgettable, in my opinion. So I had to look it up just to know what was going on. Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia anyone can edit. This stream is sponsored by Wikipedia. It's not really, but that'd be cool, wouldn't it? I don't think Wikipedia sponsors anybody, because that feels like it'd be a conflict of interest, kind of. So for her face, I'm trying to give her a very young and excited look, because she's young and excited. Again, I assume. How old do I think Mater is? That's a weird question that I never really thought about. Yeah, I'd say he's like in his early 40s, maybe? Lightning, I'd put at late 20s or early 30s. And then by like Cars 3, he's mid 30s. And then Cruz Ramirez is probably in her mid 20s. Those are my guesses. Okay, so I think the face is nearly done. The color palette. You think you can get a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship? What makes you think I haven't already? Because this is Raid Shadow Legends. And my brother is actually trying Cheerios with water. And he's having an instantaneous gag reflex. So if he pukes, it's on you, Mr. I really apologize if I screw up the pronunciation. Drov Karalu? Kalaru. Is that how you... If that's a terrible pronunciation, I am very sorry. But thank you for the suggestion, because he almost puked, and it was going to be really funny. Okay, so I think Cruz's face is done. With one of your contest Avenger entries you like. I am not at liberty to say, because I want to stay as unbiased as possible before the voting, because the Avengers contest ends tomorrow, actually. So if anybody who hasn't entered thinks that they can come up with something really, really darn quick, be impressed. You have to have at least 4 members of the Avengers in your own design, so if you want to enter, leave the contest immediately and join my Discord, and you'll be able to enter. Okay. So, this is where I have this racing suit here that I can go off of. Hey, Mater, what's up? So I think I'm going to make it a bit more detailed than Lightning's, because one of the points of the movie is that things are getting really high-tech and speedy. And Lightning is so old that he just can't keep up. And I relate to that. Even if, like I said, I'm not an adult, sure as heck feel like one some days. Because you kids with your Fortnites and your TikToks and your Twitter. When do you think I'll announce the winner? The winner will be announced in the announcement video that I promised, and that'll come out either Monday or Tuesday or at the very latest Wednesday. Because I want to give myself time to make the video and make sure that I'm giving the person the respect they deserve for their contest entry. No problem. You got the last name right. The first name is pronounced Drew. Okay. That's fine. It's nice to be able to say Drew. I like the name Drew. What's your opinion on RWBY Volume 7? I do not have an opinion because I haven't seen it yet. I actually just asked a friend about watching it, what he thought, if it was worth it. He said it was, so I'll probably watch it pretty soon. I'm hoping that Neo has a big part in it because Neo's probably my favorite character of RWBY. Okay, so there's a zipper. Zipper's good. So in these tracksuits. Okay, so there's a little streak. I think I can use this. So I'm gonna make the lining like this. I'm gonna make this blue. And then everything else will be yellow. With things like this, where there's a bunch of different designs, I like to make a lot of layers. It might seem like an extensive amount because I have 4 separate layer. Well, actually, no, I just have 2 separate layers for designs at the moment, so forget what I said. But it helps because then I'm able to keep track of it. Did I watch Ninjago Masters of the Mountain? Yes, I did, and I really liked it. I was very impressed. It felt a lot like the classic seasons. And I really like that. I love that Cole is finally getting some attention. There were some things that felt a bit weak. The villain... I like that the villain had really simple motivations, just pure greed. Because I do agree that there are definitely villains like that in our life. But I thought he could have been a bit more something. I don't know. Maybe just give Vanya a bit more time to react to. Actually, that's a spoiler. I loved Vanya. I want her to come back, definitely. The focus that they gave Kai was great because he's felt kind of shortchanged in the past few seasons. Nia too was great. Jay was Jay. I like that Lloyd wasn't the main character too, because he's not really supposed to be. He's the Green Ninja, but I'm starting to think this might be a bit too much blue. Let me see. I can cut some of it back like this. Yeah, who am I to say that recurring characters from Ninjago should be recurring? That's ridiculous. Though, I was really surprised that Misako was in, like, the first episode. Because I didn't expect that. But this is, like, the first time that we haven't seen Dareth in a season. And that's always a terrible thing. Dareth deserves to be in every season. I saw on, like, maybe Reddit the suggestion that in Prime Empire it would have been hilarious to see Dareth as the brown ninja, but someone that maxed out all of their skills and got to the point where, like, the brown ninja was the most powerful person in Prime Empire. That would have been hilarious, and I think that should have been the joke in place of, like, the Cult of Jay. I'll make the line a bit smaller. As you can see, I'm trying to replicate the side of Cruz like this with the Dynaco and the blue lines going over. I think it's working a bit. Some of this is still a bit janky. Okay, I think that works. Well, maybe not. There. I like that. Just cleaning it up a bit more. seeing the League of J's resonated with me. I can understand that. But Dareth just needs all the love. Now that we've finally gotten a Cole season, it's time to give Dareth his own season. The return of the Brown Ninja in all of his glory. And there's a lot of glory. The Dynaco logo is confusing because of dinosaurs and the implications. Well, again, that's something that is... It makes cars tricky. I mean, in Cars 2, Miles Axelrod, he is on a talk show at the beginning of the movie, and he mentions that like in his spiel about like renewable oil and how that's the future stuff. He like one of his lines is literally, "We use fossil fuels, as in dead dinosaurs, and we all know what happened to them." And then like it's a joke that Mater's like, what happened to the dinosaurs now? But that implies that yes, dinosaurs did in fact exist in the Cars universe, and it makes it very strange to think about. And yeah, Dynaco is a reference to Toy Story, because like that's the brand of the gas station that Woody and Buzz get separated at, but still, it's an issue. Okay, so for female figures, what Lego does is they give them the hips, because that's sort of that's how Lego separates male and female characters. So what I just do is I just make a curved line, then fill it in, and that works for me. It'll take some trial and error to figure out which color you want to go with for the hips. Usually gray works, or like just a dark color. It especially helps to like make the actual color design pop a bit more. Dino Trucks is the Secret Cars prequel. Also some suddenly occurred to me that the zipper is not centered. So I will fix that. That is better. Color in the dinosaur here. You know, it would be funny if, like, the dinosaurs in Cars are just like the pedal machines in the Flintstones. In fact, in my headcanon, they are. You could take that or leave it. Take it or leave it. I feel like I'm being really finicky with this figure. I don't really know why.
My friend, Sissy, here's yours. Abby. Leave her alone. You just try them on.
Okay. So I think the torso is probably pretty good. Maybe just a few more minor details, like some piping. That's something you also get a feel for in making Lego minifigures for as long as I have. You get a feel for like fashion almost, like what goes well with what. Oh my gosh.
Which one do I have on?
This video is sponsored by Zuru.
Thank you. I think it looks great so far as well.
Hoax!
What program do I use because it isn't Photoshop? As I've said many times, my preferred program is Fire Alpaca because it's totally free. It's really it's easy to download. It's just really good. You did hear a video sponsor in the background because, as per usual, about this time, my little sisters somehow inevitably interrupt things, and they have turned on a YouTube video. But I'm not bitter at all. see. Fill this in. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. So. Okay, what else can I add? What would be a good third color? Maybe silver? Let me try silver. Why does this look easier than Photoshop? Because I think it might be. I have never used Photoshop, but I've seen a lot of videos using it, and I know Ash and Flash uses Photoshop. But the interface on Fire Alpaca is really simple and easy to get, and I really appreciate that, because it took like no time for me to get the hang of it. And if you're wondering why she's holding a trophy, that's the best idea for an accessory I could give her. Okay. Then she could just have like blue feet. Because I'm basing a lot of it off of the, like with lightning, I'm basing a lot of it off of just the reference I have here. And then I could do some of the yellow, the orangish yellow piping again. I'm not sure how many people know this, but I do have, if you scroll down a bit on my channel, I have a tutorial on how I use Fire Alpaca and make a figure. And it's a bit more in-depth than I usually go on here. So if that interests you at all, I would suggest checking that out. You know, I'm really worried that I'm giving her too much blue in her design. But we'll see. In the end, I could probably just erase some. You do need to switch layers. I think that's something that you'll find on pretty much every drawing app. I use a lot of layers. If you find an easier way to draw, you might not need so many, but layers are really useful on pretty much everything. So I wouldn't stick my nose up at them. Okay, I think I'm getting somewhere. I'll see what it looks like with the arms, but I think this is getting to a good spot. What didn't I like about Young Justice Outsiders? I did not like a lot of it at all. I think there was an issue with Young Justice Season 2, even though that season is good. There's an issue there where they have a ton of characters, and a lot of them tend to blend into the background, and you don't really get to be with them or understand where they're coming from as characters. And that's an issue in Season 2. That is amplified in Season 3 because you have like 5 million different subplots with Brion trying to take back Markovia. You have Halo trying to figure out who she is. You have Cyborg trying to figure out who he is. You have the intrigue with the Justice League. Batman forming his secret group. You have Beast Boy forming the Outsiders. Just the amount of subplots. The amount of subplots is absolutely ridiculous. And darker skin? Yeah, I could see that. Okay, back to what I was saying. And it's just like it can't stand up under its own weight. And I have a lot of problems with how the subplots were handled too, because Halo isn't given enough time for any of her things to really matter. I don't think it handled representation well, because it goes out of its way to give to be very inclusive, but it does it in really terrible ways by shoehorning it in. It's not done well at all. I'll stop talking about it now, but I don't like Young Justice Season 3 at all. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch back to the lighter. I know it'll look like she's the same race as Mater, but Mater is... he's tan. This way it shows that hopefully it shows that she's a different ethnicity. May I ask how I just did that with the lips? There is one of my favorite tools is called Project Alpha, and you can see it right over the menu where I make my layers. And Project Alpha lets you draw on the lips without messing up anything below it, and it's really useful when you're trying to change the color of a smaller detail. Okay, I think the colors are coming together. Try to do the trophy. Again, this is no trophy in particular, it's just a trophy. So there's the base color. There's not really much I can add into detail colors aside from the smile, some silver for the zipper. I think it might be nearly done. I'm going to try something, though. I'm going to see if it'll look any different with everything being a dark blue. Now I'm using Project Alpha to change the color again. I can fix that a bit later. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure the dark blue is really working. I think it could be lighter blue, but there might be a bit too much blue. That might be the problem. Okay. I'll try to remove it from the arms, because there'll just be yellow underneath. That looks better. Maybe change the foot color to black. So she's just like wearing black shoes. Yeah, that looks way better. What am I most excited for in DC fandom? I'm not sure. I don't really know what's in Disney fandom. Disney. I just said Disney. DC fandom. Maybe the Suicide Squad by James Gunn. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is one of my favorites MCU movies. And so hearing that James Gunn is directing Suicide Squad, which was kind of DC's ripoff of Guardians of the Galaxy at first anyway, there's some really funny irony in that. And just the fact that he's kind of leaning, again, the fact that he's kind of leaning into the wackiness, I appreciate that. I'm always down for a superhero movie that leans into the inherent ridiculousness of the subject matter, because comics are kind of dumb if you step back and think about them. The superheroes are dumb, so don't try to make them super serious. Just recognize that they're dumb and make them dumb. But even then, I know that there are some that really benefit from a darker tone, like Logan. You can't make that one really dumb, because the point is that it's really dark. And I recognize that. But for something like Superman, Man of Steel never worked for me, because Superman, the point of Superman is that he is a beacon of hope. And he is supposed to point people to the light, and show them that the world is not as dark as you think, and that you can be a hero yourself. I've never saw the complaints that Superman was boring, because I love how he's just pure. I know people think that purity is not possible nowadays. I think that's a very nihilistic and cynical look. I prefer to look on the bright side of things, and that's why I like Superman. So Man of Steel, it doesn't work, because it treats Superman like some brooding figure, and that kind of negates what he is as a character. what he's meant to be. I mean, God, curved lines. I will never stop groaning. Curved lines. There we go. People think the world is dark, so movies should be dark. Exactly. And like I said, I think making things dark works for some movies, but for others, why not let them be like bright spots? Why not let them be something to show us that the world isn't as dark as people think it is? Maybe the world is actually a good place and not some place that you should constantly be bemoaning the fact that you're born into it. I believe that everybody is in the world created for a reason, and I think that it's up to every person to do what they can to make the world a better place. I'll admit that that statement comes from religion, but I don't think it's a particularly religious belief, because everybody needs to make the world a better place. You have to be a better person. So that's my challenge to you guys today. Make the world a better place by being a better person. And I think that's a really good place to stop, because I think I'm done with Cruz Ramirez here. Be like Cruz. I don't remember what she's like in the movie, but just from the face, and like the smiley face here, she seems like she likes to be happy. And I think that's a good way to be. The Gospel According to Larry. I've never heard of that. I will try to look that up. Sounds interesting. Legs are uneven. The reason I know what you're talking about. You're talking about this line right here. The reason I do that is because Lego minifigures, the printing doesn't go all the way up the leg. So just to keep some realism, I like to leave blank spots like that. But I guess for now I can fill that in, because I agree it looks kind of weird. There should be silver and black on the inside of the left leg. That is something I'm going to keep blank, because Lego doesn't print on the inside of their legs. They just leave that blank too. And you'll notice I did that with Lightning in this little red spot here, and Mater too, because I didn't have like mud spots on the inside. It's only on the outside. So here's Cruz Ramirez. Maybe not as complicated as Mater's. Oh, that didn't work. Maybe not as complicated as Mater last week. There is silver and black on the side of the left leg. This is the left leg, right? What is right and left? This is left. This is right. You're making me question logic. I think I had it. I got it, I think. Okay, and then, like usual, I clean this up and remove the outer printing, because again, that's more the realistic side of what Lego does. And ta-da! Here is Cruz Ramirez. Da-da-da-da! I will save this as a file pack of file. She is ready to go make the world a better place. Save it as a PNG. And then I'll make a group shot for now. How many pixels wide do I remove printing on the outsides of the figure? I don't really know. What you will find about my art is that none of it is an exact science. I don't try to make it an exact science. I just kind of do what works for me, and usually that can change on a dime. So think of my rules or my ideas for how to draw as tips or guidelines, not hard and fast rules, because they're not even hard and fast rules for me. It's just what I do. I try to make it look good, and if it does, awesome. And so here are the human Cars figures for right now. Mater, Lightning, and Cruz Ramirez. And you do hear Mario in the background, because again, like I said, they're watching a YouTube video, and I don't know what it is. I don't really want to look. So, here it is. Completed figures. I'll probably continue the Cars as Humans series. Like I said, I really want to do Finn McMissile and maybe Francesco Chick Hicks. But I think that is all for now. So thank you all for coming in and watching me draw this. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. If you would like to see me focus more on streams in the future, then leave your support. I have a lot of fun making these streams, and I have a lot of fun talking with you guys. So I'll probably keep doing it on Saturdays from now on. But again, like everything I do, nothing is hard and fast, so just keep an eye on whenever I post. And until